Hi everyone, and welcome to our small group. My name is Darlene Preciado Davis, and I'm a counselor here at Wood Creek High School. And first of all, I want to thank each of you for signing up to be in this first generation college-bound student group. So thank you all for putting in your interest cards for that. But before we get started, I want to talk about the purpose of the group and some rules and guidelines, and also confidentiality, okay? So the purpose of this group is to provide you all with the opportunity to share your ideas in a safe, comfortable, and supportive space, such as this. This group will allow you to share ideas, perspectives with other people who have some of the same concerns and who can relate to what you're going through as being first generation college students. And with this sharing of information comes the issue of confidentiality. Can any of you explain to me what confidentiality means to you?
Keep it secret.
Okay, anyone else?
Like protecting information.
Okay, excellent. Okay, excellent. That's exactly what confidentiality is, to keep a secret, to keep something in confidence. And with small group counseling, that's exactly what we want to do, because this space is meant for you to share your feelings, emotions, any ideas, perspectives, and we want to keep that in confidence within our group. Oftentimes people will ask me, well, what if I learn something in group and I want to talk about it? That is actually okay. You can, so say we talk about something and you find out that going to college, your first year at Sierra College, for example, is free, and you want to share that with people. You learn that in group, you can share that with anyone you wish. The only thing you can't share is what someone else shared within the group, okay? That remains in confidence, and you can't share who's within the group, okay? So just please keep that in mind. Also, there are exceptions to confidentiality. So for example, if when sharing, someone shares the fact that they want to self-harm or they're going to harm others, I have to report that, all right? So is that understood?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then also, next, let's go into some group expectations. So what we expect for the group, some norms. So first of all, I put something together, and we'll just keep this at each group. So 1 is respect each other, 2 is protect confidentiality, and 3 is commit to the process. So can any of you explain what commit to the process might mean? Or can you guess?
Repeatedly coming to like the group meetings and like try to continue this like in and outside the group.
Exactly. Yep.
Participating in this meeting.
Right. Okay. That's exactly what commit to the process is. So, and thank you all again for being here, because coming to the first group is that first step. And one thing I want to share with you, although we're in a group and we expect everyone to participate, you all do have the right to pass. So if there's something we're covering and you don't feel comfortable answering, or you just don't want to share at that moment, you can just say pass, and we'll respect your choice to pass, okay? So what we're going to do next, we're going to do a little bit of an icebreaker, because I know not all of you know each other. I'm going to pass around this card, okay? And I want each of you to just answer this. It's the first thing that comes to your mind, okay? So there's no right or wrong answers. And the first one is one thing I'm excited about for college, one thing I'm nervous about for college, and one thing I know about college, okay? So given that you all are 11th graders, you're going to be looking into colleges if you haven't already. So you may not have an answer for one of those, and that's okay. The other thing I'd like you to do is tell us your name, and then if you know where you'd like to go to college, mention that as well. And if you don't, again, that's okay. If you don't know the name of a college, you can just say, I'm interested in going to a community college or a four-year college, or I know I want to go to college in New York, for example, okay? So you may not know where you want to go, and that's quite all right. And then you'll pass this around, and then we'll start with Keyshawn, and then at the end, I'll finish it off, okay? And I'll share my answers, but my answers as a graduate student, okay? All right. Keyshawn?
One thing I'm excited about for college is being able to focus on my major. One thing I'm nervous about for college is possibly moving away from home. And one thing I know about college is it's expensive.
Okay, good.
One thing I'm excited about for college is a new experience other outside of high school. One thing I'm nervous about for college is leaving home, like you stated. And then one thing I know about college is it's harder than high school, or more difficult.
And introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Molly.
Thank you.
I'm Jake. One thing I'm excited about for college is going and focusing on myself and expanding my horizons.
Okay.
One thing I'm nervous about for college is meeting new people. That really makes me nervous.
Good.
One thing I know about college is the classes are going to be a lot harder and
Okay.
Jaden. One thing I'm excited for about college is the new location. One thing I'm nervous about college is I don't know what to expect. And then one thing I know about college is that the classes will be harder and the classes will be larger.
Okay, great. Thank you all for sharing. So it sounds like you all have a lot of things that you're nervous about, meeting new people, the classes, being away from home. So those are all very normal feelings, and a lot of students experience those. So those are some of the things that we'll talk about in our next several group sessions, just those feelings and what we can do, just talking through them, and how experiences of other people can help us deal with those issues, okay? And again, I'm Darlene Preciado Davis. I'm a counselor here at Wood Creek High School, and let's see, many of you may not know, but I'm in a graduate program at National University for school counseling. And so when I started the program, one thing I was extremely nervous about was time management. I was nervous about how I was going to fit in my full-time work schedule with going to graduate school and completing the program and doing well. One thing I was excited about is that I could finally do something that I really enjoyed and loved. One thing that I knew about college was that it was not going to be easy. I knew that it was going to be tough, but I'm glad I'm doing it. So thank you all for sharing. What we're going to do now is I'm going to give you all a very short pre-test. I'm going to pass those out, and there's just there's some questions on here. Like I said, they're very brief. Jake, do you mind passing out a pencil to everyone? And they are on a scale of 1 through 5, for 1 being not very sure, 4 being very, very sure. And these are questions that we're going to conclude. You guys can go ahead and start. We will go ahead and talk about these at the very end of our session, in the closing session. So I'm just going to walk around while you all do that. So it looks like you all are finishing up on those. One thing we're going to do, just because we don't have a lot of time today, One thing we'll do is before we close, you can go ahead and finish, Molly. I don't want to rush you. But one thing we do before we go today, I just want to have a brief discussion. Since our program or our small group is about first generation college bound students, I want to talk about, we can just share a little bit about what each of you, being a first generation college student, what maybe some of your fears or concerns are, or how your family perceives you going to college. You can sort of address it as a whole. Like, so for example, I was the first generation in my family who went to college. Okay, my family was very supportive, but there were other people in my extended family who didn't understand why I was going to college. They didn't understand. It's probably because they just didn't know. It was a cultural thing as well. They thought I should go to work and help support my family. So that's just one side of it. So if you feel comfortable sharing what your experience is like being a first generation college bound student, and if you don't have anything to share, that's okay too, because some don't. It just feels normal to them. Okay, we'll start with you, Jabin.
My family's always said that, well, I'm a first generation college student. My family, both all extended and intimate, haven't been to college. They support my decision, but they also do not, because they believe that if I did go to college, I could fail and eventually not be able to get a job because then it's like a waste of money. And so that's what I thought about college.
Okay, thanks for sharing.
I'm a first generation college student, but most of my family before me has wanted me to go to the military because that's what all they've done.
Okay.
So it's different for me, but that's why I wanted to go to college. I thought it would be better.
Okay, great.
I'm a first generation college student, and my parents, they're just proud of me and they're pushing me to go to college because they didn't get the opportunity to, or financially.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Just like Jake, my family was in the military a lot just because they couldn't afford college. So they wanted me to go in the military. And then when I told them I want to go to Harvard Law School, they kind of laughed at me. But yeah.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you all for sharing. I think it's awesome. You all have really, high expectations of yourself and goals. And sometimes being a first generation college student, sometimes families aren't supportive and sometimes they are. So we'll talk through some of those things and share. And, some of you who have really supportive families can share with others who don't have, as supportive families. And I can share some of the experiences I went through as well. Okay. So what we're going to do in closing, I just want to again thank you all for coming, and
Thank you.
You're welcome. And what we'll do in the upcoming sessions, we'll dive further into some of these issues. And for next session, again, you all indicated on your interest cards that Fridays at 2 work best for all of you, so we'll continue to meet Friday at 2. I'll send reminders again to your teachers so that you'll be excused to come out of your classroom. So we'll meet Fridays at 2, and I want to give you a little bit of homework. Don't worry, you don't have to write anything down. It's just all in your head, okay? Just something so you can think about and come here and be prepared. I want you to think about 3 different colleges that you might be interested in attending, okay? And it could be your dream school. It could be a safe school, and maybe one that you're going to you could get into no matter what. And if you don't know, that's fine. You can come see me during my office hours, and I can help you choose some schools. But that's what we're going to do our next session. We're going to work through and look at some colleges. Okay. Yes, exactly. Find a college that fits you based on your interests, your academic. I know some of you are athletes, so we can look at that as well. So think about 3 schools you want to do a little research on. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So thank you all for coming, and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank
You too.
Thank you.